3 generations of poets have coalesced as the Revolutionary Poets Brigade. No future way back then. Still rocking, still rolling. And here they are, really on the front line. They've been putting off through these words for many, many years. But now it's really happening as a done. What are you doing as a done? We've been making history, are we not?
We are!
We've been making history, are we not?
Yes!
We've been making hipstery, and that's for sure. The Occuparty Arcane. 1. There's a poem being written by the people of the world in a process, in motion, a composition by field, literally, by camping, in parks, on campuses, occupying everywhere.
Occupy everywhere.
It's got its twists, absurd turns, but its rule is presence of breath and being in the truly present. After having received the essence, the inmost call for democracy's justice at last.
Woo, yeah.
And so, one has to go with it, because one's already been spoken to from and by the future irrevocably. 2, no, we're not a picnic on the lawn of government. A little verse that says, to the 1%, we want to annoy you a little so that you recognize us.
Really?
Listen, occupiers. Unless we say goodbye forever to the Democrats and repulsive clans, the 2 sides of the coin that is capitalism. And with Greens and Independents work all together to create the Occuparty, unless we look in that direction as a new class under the sun of an organically collectivized democracy, the army of the capitalist class, that 1% cops who belong to the 99 but have bought the bullet along with the brainwash of the lie of security, those cops surely won't be doing crosswords when they're ordered to tear gas, mace, club with batons, and even shoot to kill us and our brothers and sisters. They'll only desist and join us when we create the Occuparty born from the poem that's being written by people of good earth and goodwill all over the world.
This poem is a black cat bone. This poem is a black cat bone. Is a hoodoo holler directed at you. This is Damballa all pissed off because none of the old sacrifices worked. None of our hard work paid off and the lies no longer hold true. So we called down Screamin' Jay and put a curse on them. We did the Coltrane thing and took another option. Chose to try love and unity instead of greed. Put powder around their door and us for protection. Have taken up the people's arms and linked with them. Have tied around us all one big red string. Now we're calling for another way of knowing, another action. Yes, this poem is a black cat bone, a hoodoo on the banks who just want to do you, a veve of every human hue, a ritual older than some bourgeois version of democracy. This is our intention, no matter one's religion. This is Chicken John with a brilliant brain and 10 textbooks he can't afford tucked under his arm. This is a Pocomania party, but no one will be wearing white. We'll just be dancing, twirling, stepping in trance-like unity. Yes, this is the whirling of a holy dervish society with all the drunken Sufis in the house tonight. This is the whole congregation on the threshing floor, ecstatic at having finally been saved. This is our exodus out of Egypt, our refusal any longer to be their slaves, and we are all Moses leading the way. This is Uncle Carl stepping down the road with Mahatma Gandhi. This is Che sitting in the pews with Bouazizi. This is Zapata washing the feet of the Virgin of Guadalupe. Is Sandino returned to us to share his soup? Is the communion of campus comrades in courageous labor-fighting unions? Is the teacher who is a true guru, the prophet poet who studies organs and bones, then ritualizes them? Is the painter who worships the unknown and unbend, then realizes it? Is the warrior who refuses the dishonor of unjust killing, who walks the red-hot coals of heroism and never flinches, and in so doing reclaims his holy manhood. Yes, this is the messianic masses return to save ourselves from economic crucifixion, descending our crosses by the thousands to travel together on this open road. The sacrificial lambs that have been transformed and reborn, the inherited meek that have come to stake our claim here among this new 21st century humanity.
Beautiful, fragile flower was born on the concrete asphalt of San Francisco's financial district. And on that stony desert, it grew out of its sheer will to grow. It held on to life with persistence, watered by some care that took the shape of food, water, books, company. It transcended the cynical laughter that surrounded her from the high towers of arrogance, deceit, indifference, crime, impunity. And it turned into a place of sharing and a place of utter loneliness, an ephemeral, everlasting place to be inhabited, visited and revisited in the cold seasons by hundreds, thousands, millions. A place right at the center of my heart, right at the center of my being, wherefrom it pulses, it beats, it hurts, it flows, and I wade its waters of unexpected turmoil that bring me back to life. It became a place where I could find myself through the undisturbed, reflective, tender, fair mirror of your wise young blue eyes. It became a polluted place too, that carried the mud of our shame and tears, the blood and sickness of all the wars inflicted on us, imprinted on our bodies, tattooed as a monster from a sci-fi movie that would scream its agony in an ocean of oblivion, ignorance, and darkness, risking to forget its inner force and its original purpose. Yet, when it seemed that that might happen, that place, that winter flower, found the lost realm of its strength and welded those tears and blood and mud within its passionate inner fire and turned them into the silver metal of clarity. into moonbeams in a quiet night sea of beauty and peace. It became a place of reunion, of heated, long-forgotten discussions, of proposals engulfing us all, celebrating the awareness of being together again, of feeling like one collective body of wisdom and power. It became a place where we could live alternate, impossible dreams made of scenes you and I could have lived in a kinder, more flexible life, in another world where time waited more lightly than in this one. A place that occupied me, invaded me, reached my core, burst the doors open and expanded. It became a call to generosity, a call to transcend fears and doubts, a call to wakefulness, a call to turn the page of horror and live like that bird in Huxley's Island, paying attention and letting others know it is important to pay attention. A call to give the best of ourselves, a point made of many points, a drawing in the vast emptiness of the sky, a cosmic map, a constellation of hope, a landscape where you and I could have existed and maybe exist in love, because our longings are allowed to be and are allowed to embrace. Out on the streets, everything is yet to be done and everything is possible. Right now, this poem, this instant, is for you and I to occupy.
This is called phony humanism of the damned. I was brought up with a phony humanism, where you hear that human life is precious, and let's hear it for the Renaissance. But there's a nuance of the darker side in all of this, and you are blindsided by the corporations if you are distracted by illusions of self-worth and think the government is looking out for you, and it is too disturbing to think otherwise. And so the power structure has you right where it wants you. It is hiding behind a veil of your own weaknesses, and those include the sentimental notion that it can't happen here. A corporation balances a profit motive with a body count you can't believe. The business of America is business. And there may be people dying by the thousands, but the government is moving in slow motion to protect them. The tobacco companies are case in point. The headstones reach to the horizon, but they're still in business. And I've heard that alcohol has caused some damage in this country, but the power structure won't allow a dying man to smoke a joint. You think the government is looking out for you, then where's your health insurance? The democracy is rigged. The politicians going through the motions. It's a kind of theater. They are pretending to be representatives who make decisions which reflect the will of the people, but the real decisions are secured behind the scenes, like Cheney meeting with the oil executives before they engineered the ruinous invasion of another country. We are in a realm of manufactured consent. The advertising pumping up the glorified consumer units, but the standard of living is declining. In the old days, you could raise a family on one income. Now it's common for both parents to be working just to make ends meet. The system separating mothers from their children. There are many people who are suffering from depression, and the system makes a lot of money selling antidepressants. We are said to be a freedom-loving population, but we don't have much vacation time, and millions are in prison. How did that occur? The humanism so adulterated in this country, we can't even tell when there's been a coup d'etat. Because there are no coup d'etats in Disneyland. What good is going to college if you can't even read the license of the army truck that ran you off the road? What good is any humanist philosophy if those who are imbued with that don't know what happened to them on 9/11? They lack the ways and means to figure out it was an inside job. Believing the official story of 9/11 is like believing Rock Hudson was straight. Reality is too disturbing for some people, and the power structure is exploiting that phenomenon. We're subject to the mass psychology of fascism, not to mention 1984. When you inhale the nicotine, they say it's springtime. Nixon wanted peace in our time, and Bush was looking for weapons of mass destruction under his desk. A useless bureaucrat was doing a heck of a job when they ignored the bodies floating in a flooded-out New Orleans. But the government is looking out for you, like when it's using public monies for the sake of private profit, giving it to Wall Street and pretending it was necessary and so urgent there could be no oversight. And how deluded does a population have to be to swallow these conditions? Are they medicated, tired, overworked, afraid, or what? Ill-fated in their humanism, fated by a TV screen, and having fallen for a middle-class lobotomy, they can't imagine the assassins in their midst.
Panic, cruel power will sit calm and kind. And let us easily move this heavy mountain of misery and poverty aside and let the sun shine on our shoulders equally. Get wrong if we think rising, chanting and holding our hands together or placing our beds on the streets day and night or writing poems is enough to move these volcanic flames, blocking our path towards decent future. We may need the power of magic which can be found in a river of our angels' blood in the fight with demons.
The political activist's life in America is lonely no longer. Together, we're reoccupying our country. Oh, America, you are hard to rile. Yet once there, your genie cannot be put back into the bottle of apathy and silence. How difficult to ignite millions working together for a cause bigger than any one. Where there's ne'er a buck to be made, where there's ne'er a buck to be made. Decades since the last time, my fellow Americans, decades. When will the uprising occur? What will be the spark? Where will it happen? No one knows until everyone knows. And now we know. I thought this land is our land until the collusion of big business and big government, there's a name for that, evicted us from our land and told us, after stealing our wealth, you're on your own. Their definition of the ownership society. What's next? Everyone wants to know. Well, biological evolution is messy. Lots of trial and error and agent provocateurs. And thus will be our genuine grassroots uprising for dignity, justice, and liberty. Occupy has legs because it has heart and the support of the 99%. Oh, it will be messy, but never lose sight of the main things. Economic, social, and political justice. A level playing field. The foundations of this great nation. Extremist America doesn't know what hit them. Their frantic lies and attacks on the 99%, epitomized by fixed news, has been fully exposed. We report, you decide? No, we distort, you deride. Indeed we do. May the long arc of history bend more malleably toward justice.
Dust of freedom enters through the window, and the wind obscures my view. The sun place on the wave in the far distance, and this moment belongs to me, can't be bought nor sold because it has no price tag. You may breathe in the same air as us, but yours comes with a price, like everything else you touch. And through your own, and though you own 99% more than the 99% of us, I'm almost sure you gasp at the thought that we breathe in 99% more of it than you do. These arms of flesh linking across the globe, this global campsite that has no borders, calling out for a new order without orders, putting a stop to this accumulated wealth, falling into your bottomless pockets. It might seem like a mere whimper to you, but the numbers are swelling and the vision is getting clearer and stronger as we count the days till a teacher can be a teacher, a doctor, or simply just be a human being and not a cog in a corporate machine spinning to hell. When we can learn for the sake of learning and not just to get a job. As my hand moves across the paper before I rush off into the day, I wish and hope we can take the greed out of this political system, use our voices, set down our tents where they belong.
Occupy the voids they sunk in our hearts when they made us into commodities, when they stole our humanity and locked us up in the lonely cells of exploitation and scattered us into the cold of dispossession. We occupy our humanity the only way we can, together.
Yeah.
We take our price tag hearts from the exploiters' trash and put them back into our breasts where they can beat together. I heard their drum beats down at the occupation. I saw the rabid dogs of the corporations break bones and take our frail communal tents and dump our shared food on the ground. Right between the wind of my voice and the light, and saw the shining camp that rose again in gentle triumph there, because the spirit of justice and love is a mighty thing, tenacious as life itself, that keeps the planets dancing in the spin of the galaxy and sings of each birth. We are birthing this idea because no force in the world can stop an idea whose time has come, as the saying goes. And what a joy is that! The age-long dream of universal justice, of brother, sisterhood, in cooperation, as each discovers their own original creative fountain, shared for the delight of everyone. We occupy, we bring into being this vision here in the wreck and death of the old.
This poem is going to be read by David Frucka. It's called Like an Avalanche, Haikus of Revolution.
Thank you.
Before I begin, I want to bring up a psychological study that was done after World War II to investigate why the Holocaust was possible. Stanley Milgram took 4 participants who thought they were working for a study to help people to administer shocks for people learning test for studying memory. This was a deception. What was actually happening was he was testing the obedience of the participants who were told they were working for the study. And he watched as each participant obeyed the command to raise the voltage of the shock that they were administering until they were administering a lethal voltage. This supports the idea that evil is banal. Evil results from the mindless following of orders. Our job as humans is to think with the brain that we have and not to do what is expected and what will bring comfort. Our job as humans is to raise above the condition that we are in. Therefore, the excuse that anybody is just doing their job is not acceptable. Our job is to love and to live. Of the wild boiling of stone beneath the earth's crust, the temperamental storms that coalesce, raging like the sun's mad fire. The prophets, they spoke. The vines of time, they have grown. Eat the fruit of truth. The prophecies, they shall come true. Brothers and sisters, the spell has been cast like an avalanche, unexpected as a thief in the quiet night. The collapse of the wicked empire shall come like an avalanche. Beware, there is danger in being on the wrong side of righteousness. The human spirit, like an avalanche that rolls, snowballing, growing, shall crush, demolish, mighty like an avalanche, the firmaments of the abominable machine of war and greed. People, like an avalanche, shall now move together, frozen conscience, unfurling, blossoming, glacial.